Yes.
Jessica, can you hear me? I don't know about the echo.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, cool. I think it's just because there was no one in the mic. Is is the echo gone? Yes, I think it is. Okay.
Everyone, we'll get started at 7:10, so in 2 minutes. Okay, hello everyone. I call this meeting to order on Tuesday, January 20th at 7:10 p.m. Please raise your hand if you would like to make any amendments to today's agenda. Tommy?
All right. I would like to motion to vote to add Kelly Trong to the E-Board External Relations Chair role, Carl Mayer to the E-Board Vice Chair role, Sophia Gevorgian to the E-Board Investigations Chair role, Joseph Serafino to the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs, and Block.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tommy motions, Edison seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against? And all abstaining with a vote of 12 to 0 to 0, that motion passes.
All right, I would like to motion to add an appointment for Kelly Trong to the E-Board External Relations position, Carl Mayer to the E-Board Vice Chair, Sophia Gevorgian to the E-Board Investigations Chair, and then Joseph Serafino to the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs to the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tommy motions, Edison seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against? All abstaining with a vote of 13 to 0, of 12 to 0 to 0, that those appointments are added onto tonight's agenda. I saw the Divine, you have your hand up.
Can we strike ARC allocations, please?
Yes. Nico?
Can I add a special presentation for the commuter liaison?
Edison?
Can I strike SFS allocations?
Proxy for EVP, Jose?
Can I strike bag allocations?
Edison?
I would also like to add CS transpo allocations.
Joy?
Can I please strike TJF allocations?
Are there any other amendments? We're just waiting on Tommy to finish tonight's agenda, and I'll ask for him to motion. Nico, is the presentation in person or are they online? Or is it you?
In person. She's right there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can someone please motion to approve tonight's agenda for January 20th?
I motion to approve the agenda for January 20th, 2026.
I second.
Tommy motions, Daniel seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against? And all abstaining with a vote of 13 to 0 to 0. Tonight's agenda for January 20th is approved. Next, we will be moving on to the approval of our previous meeting minutes, which is January 13th. I hope everybody had a chance to take a look, and if there are any questions or comments, if there aren't any questions or comments, those are approved. Next, we will be moving on to public comments. If you're here for public comment in person, can you please raise your hand? Can you please, you can step up to the mic and, you know.
Hi everyone, my name's Layla. I'm with CalPERG. We're the student activist group here at UCLA. Just wanted to give a quick update. So far this quarter, we've identified over 400 students who are interested in getting involved with our campaigns. And that's all culminating into our kickoff meeting tomorrow, which is like our biggest meeting of the quarter, where we'll launch all of our campaigns as well as our funding drive. And then we're going to play trivia after. It's going to be really fun. But that'll be in Dodd 146 if any of y'all want to swing by. It's at 6 p.m. And then coming out of that, we're going to be doing some art builds for our various campaigns for the rest of the week on Thursday and Friday, if you want to swing by for that as well. But honestly, that is everything that I have. But we hope to work with you on the rest of our campaigns this quarter. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in collabing. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other students in person? Yes.
Hi, I'm Marcus Gabby. Thanks, Lorelei. Hi, I'm Marcus Gabby. I work in student government services. I'm also a diversity, equity, inclusion staffer with IVP. And we're here in an effort to make SGS a little more visible to you guys, put some faces to names. So yeah, thank you. That's it. That's everything I got. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be sure to stop by and ask for more stuff. Thank you, thank you. If there are no other students here for comments, we will move on to funding. First is USAC BOD with Nico.
I will be passing off to Emery. She is our USA/BOD funding chair.
I think you should be able to unmute yourself whenever you can.
Yeah, I have the numbers. I can do it on behalf of Emery if she's unable to unmute. But for this allocation cycle, the USA/BOD funding body had a total requested allocation of $240,000, $240,118.39. And we recommend a total allocation of $54,687.29 to a total of 47 non-USAC entities and 3 USAC entities. And then I'm happy to answer any questions. And if there are no questions, I can motion to approve.
I just have a question. I believe I'm getting allocated. Do I have to make a comment or I don't abstain? I don't vote.
Like with any other funding source, if you are receiving an allocation as part of this, you should abstain because you have a direct financial interest in the outcome of the vote.
But I can't abstain. I'm good. Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm good. Okay. Just want to reiterate for the meeting minutes that I would abstain. Okay.
All right. Okay, I motion to approve the total allocation of $54,687.29 to 47 non-USAC entities and 3 USAC entities.
Second.
Nico motions, JS seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against and all abstaining. With a vote of 12 to 0 to 1, that those USAC beauty allocations are approved. Next, we have contingency programming with Bethany.
Hi, this week we had a total contingency program request of $58,513, and we recommend an allocation of $16,446 for 1 USAC entity and 48 non-USAC entities. I also want to highlight that there is a $700 winter quarter retreat for FICOM there as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and I've also pasted it in the chat.
Tommy.
Right. Yeah. I motion to approve contingency allocation of $16,446 for 1 USAC entity and 48 non-USAC entities.
Second.
Who's that? Hannah? Tommy motions, Hannah seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against and all abstaining. With a vote of 13 to 0 to 0, the contingency programming allocations are approved. Next, we have SWC Programming Fund allocations with Hannah.
The SWC Programming Fund recommends an allocation of $1,903.23 to 3 non-USAC entities.
Are there any questions or comments on that allocation? If not, the SWC Programming Fund allocations are approved. Next, we have ASRF allocations with Chris. And if you would also like to add the AAC Travel Mini Grant as well.
Perfect. Thank you. 1 second. Okay. So let's start with the AS Academic Success Referendum Fund, ASRF. Okay, so for this week, we recommend allocation of $500 to 1 non-USAC entity. And then for the second, the travel grant mini fund, TGMF, we recommend an allocation of $2,856.57 to 6 non-USAC entities.
Can you please make a motion on the first?
It's not,
Oh, sorry,
not a
sorry about
motion.
that.
It's not
No,
a
no,
motion.
sorry, no, there's no motion. Sorry about that. If there are no questions or comments for Chris, then those are approved. Next, we have CS Transpo Fund with Edison.
Really quick.
Yeah, so this week, CS Transport recommends an allocation of $46,094.63 to 6 USAC entities and 32 non-USAC entities.
Diego.
Yeah, Jonathan.
On your agenda, this doesn't have an
Oh, yeah, I was
consent.
gonna. Oh, it's consent?
It doesn't have either.
Do you know
Oh, I believe this is a consent item.
consent?
Yeah.
Was it motioned in the agenda? If not, since you're still technically voting on it, you'll need to motion.
You have to add. Do we have to motion to make it something?
You need to motion to make it an action item, yeah.
Okay. So motion to make it an action item and then motion to pass the action item.
Okay, wait, so this is a voting item, it's not a consent item?
It is a consent item, but it was not added as a consent item when you approved the agenda. It was
Oh,
added
okay.
with nothing.
Okay, got
So
it.
technically it was just a discussion item.
Mhm.
So for now, for this particular one, just add it as an action item.
Okay, I motion to add the CS Transpo allocations to the guideline as a consent item.
Is there a second? Tommy seconds. Sorry, Edison motions, Tommy seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. 12, 13, all against, please raise your hands. All abstaining with a vote of 13 to 0 to 0, the CS Transpo funds are added as an action item on tonight's agenda. If you would like to motion to approve.
Okay, so I motion to approve the CS Transpo allocations.
Funds, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Edison motions, Hannah seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. And all abstaining with a vote of 12 to 0 to 0. The CS Transpo Fund is approved. Next, we have our special presentation with the commuter liaison.
Hello, my name is Sophia Gavorgian, and I am this year's USAC Commuter Liaison. You've heard from a lot of you have heard from me, but just to reiterate what my role is, I'm here to advise you on all things commuters, as well as to help with the FSC's parking grants that are done every year. So I wanted to give you a little update on what I've been up to, starting with the FSC actually. We are currently in talks with the Commuter Support Center to discuss on whether or not we can combine our applications or the review process to streamline the application process for the upcoming commuter grants, commuter parking grants, which are going to be released later this quarter. FAC has looped me into their conversations with utility transportation regarding the potential limiting of discounted daily parking permits. That decision is not yet finalized, but once it is, I expect to also move forward on discussing how we can prioritize commuter students as opposed to other students who are also taking advantage of the discounted parking. I've also been graciously accepted into the TSR office. They have been immensely helpful in coordinating a commuter buddy program earlier in this last quarter to create contacts between the new commuting students and the returning ones, just so they have a contact person with any questions they may have. We also held a little commuter cookie social in the commuter center on Strathmore to introduce the new students to this space on campus made for commuters. Currently with the TSR office, we are developing a commuter survival guide. We last quarter compiled resources and tips and hacks on how to make the commuting experience a more enjoyable one. And the TSR media team is currently developing graphics, and I'd love to collab post that final product with you later this year, probably in March. Last year, I released a commuter feedback form, a commuter liaison feedback form, where students can share their thoughts and share exactly what they wish for me to share on their behalf to you all here. And I'd like to highlight one such response. One of the most significant hurdles commuter students face is obstacles to campus involvement. And this one student who lives 40 miles away highlighted that needing to be home as well as having caretaking duties made it so that the benefits of attending most events do not outweigh the cost. I know most of your offices do so already, but I just want to reiterate the value of allowing for virtual and hybrid programming and for meetings in your offices. It's physically and emotionally costly to make the trek to campus at times, for especially 1-hour meetings. And oftentimes it's not conducive to family schedules and obligations that are now added to our busy plates as students. Our campus culture at large isn't a place that encourages students to place requests for accommodations for commute purposes. So I wanted to highlight this point on their behalf. And if you have any suggestions on how I can raise this with other organizations, I would love to have your feedback. Going forward, just 2 points. I'd love it if you can help share that feedback form to get the word out to the other students on issues that they wish to share with you, as well as any projects that you have going forward. I'd love to be looped in and see where I can support.
Thank you so much. Next, we have our appointments, starting with Sophia with the Elections Investigations Chair. Sophia, oh, returning. So in case as a refresher to all the appointments, you first get a 1-minute opening statement followed by, we'll say 5-minute question and answer period. And then finally closing statement, and then council deliberates, and then we vote. Whenever you're ready and whenever you see the timer, you may begin your 1-minute opening statement.
Hello, my name is Sophia Gevorgyan. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm double majoring in political science and Middle Eastern studies. I've applied to be the next Elections Board Director of Investigations and have done so after serving on the Investigations Committee for 2 of the 3 cycles I've been here at UCLA. I wasn't on the team last year since I was part of Jen McPhee's office. My reasoning for applying to this committee is simple. I come with experience and a clear leadership plan. Having worked under different investigations directors, I have seen varying styles of leadership and the consequent vulnerabilities it lends to the committee and violation decisions. As the chair, I will lead my team via heavy collaboration in an attempt to ensure one narrative, even if that's my narrative, does not dominate outcomes. The strategy would also encourage institutional continuity as members gain experience and reapply for both the committee and investigations director position in the future, as I am doing now. Working closely with the chair of the Elections Board, I am wholly committed to advancing a fair electoral process, so I'm grateful to have proceeded to this interview stage.
I'll begin with our first question. 5 minutes, yeah, thank you. How do you plan to commit to a fair investigations process?
I would be adhering strictly to the bylaws and to the social media guidelines that were previously provided to us, and any violation sanctions that are found and established would be based either on precedents and also in consideration of the current circumstances of that election.
You have your Hiram and then Tommy.
Hi. My question for you is, especially since you served as a staff member on the investigations committee before, what do you envision assigning staff members to make sure that every case gets adequate review?
I think one strategy could be to assign students to certain members of the team to certain days of the week, so that violations that come in that day are addressed certainly strictly on that day. And that will help with organization, help with allocating workload, and using platforms such as Slack was useful in the past. And I can see myself assigning tasks that way before reviewing them and then sending it over to the elections chair for their final consent.
I know in recent years there has been a lot of variation in the kind of observance or interpretation of certain elections guidelines, which could make using precedent a bit difficult per se. So how do you plan to be transparent and upfront about the policies that and how you will be interpreting the elections code this year to the candidates and to the referendums on the ballot?
Yes, first and foremost, the guidelines themselves are what we go by. So if there's any question as to whether or not those are violated, there will be a resulting sanction. In terms of how the sanction is decided, for transparency, I will be depending on my team as committee members share their thoughts on whether that sanction that perhaps I consent or suggest is the most appropriate one. So I'll be taking on a role that considers more thoughts than just my own, which would reduce transparency.
Tommy with a follow-up and then Jo.
Yeah, I think the one I'm just mainly thinking of is, for instance, like campaigning on Bruin Walk. In previous years, it's been that you can only campaign on Bruin Walk. Then last year, it was interpreted as anywhere on campus. So I like for specific policies like that, where there has been like, it really varies from year to year of how the board interprets the code. Like, do you have a plan in place to kind of share details like that, where you, like you said, you've served on the committee for years now, where you've kind of observed discrepancies, and how do you plan to remedy those?
I plan to, I was on the team last year, so I don't quite remember last year's help supplied, but I will be leading extensive trainings and discussions with the committee before the election period starts. So we will go over questions like those, have our outlined framework before we jump into election cycle. And once we do, we will be adhering to the policies that we decided to as a committee beforehand.
Thank you, Jo.
Yes, kind of picking back off of what Tommy was saying. Also, similar last year, there were a lot of reports that were like cited, like say like directly reporting some incident that happened to a candidate that was related to like workplace harassment or alleging discrimination, and there was no transparency provided in some people's opinions by the election board on what would happen to this case and how they would be able to feel safe moving forward and continue in the process. If that were to like happen, like say this year, how do you plan to navigate those difficult situations when you're dealing with election board guidelines, but also thinking about like student code of conduct and making sure all candidates are safe in this process?
Of course, the main point there is communication. If we are discussing something as a group, it should be eventually addressed and it should be released publicly to those in the general student populace. So communicating what we decide and what was discussed, I think, is something important that I haven't quite seen in the past.
Thank you. I think that'll be our final question. Whenever you're ready, you may. Sorry, we'll just stick with that one. But tell me whenever you can start the 1 minute timer for her closing statement.
I can motion to extend. And we'll get the timer set up. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you for offering the opportunity to be in contest for the Director of Investigations position. In response to why I'm qualified, I must refer back to the fact that I reviewed and drafted countless election violation submissions during my 2 years of experience, so I'm already familiar with how the review process works. This year, I'm seeking to lead this committee as opposed to merely being a member of it, since I wish to foster a collaborative environment that I saw lacked in the past. In particular, I plan to heavily involve committee members in drafting findings and applying sanctions for 2 reasons. Firstly, it allows them experience that will reduce the burden on training in the following cycle as they reapply for the committee or even leadership position. This also increases continuity and therefore longevity of the committee beyond the 1 cycle I potentially lead. More importantly, though, this collaborative approach will increase transparency and reduce bias, as one viewpoint does not dominate the outcomes. With these in mind, I look forward to your final votes and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much. We'll now move on to council comments and deliberations. Oh, yes. Sorry, Eric.
Sophia demonstrated a clear understanding of not just the Director of Investigations role, but of the Elections Board as a whole, having served as a staffer for the committee in previous years. Her previous contributions to USAC are commendable, and her vision is clear for what she wants from the e-board this year. ARC is under the impression that e-board would not be the same without her this year, and with a 4-0 vote, we enthusiastically recommend her for this position.
Thank you so much. Now move on to council deliberations. Yes.
I have had the absolute pleasure of working with Sophia, both just mainly professionally, through last school year as well as this school year. Sophia is truly like, no, she's a machine. Like, She is one of the coolest people I know, and she is always so dedicated and puts 101% into every single thing she does. And I got to see that through Gen Rep 3 last year, and I got to see that through her community liaison role this year. And I think there is truly no one better suited for this position. She will literally baby the investigations director role. And I think like there's truly no one that's doing it like her. So I urge you all to vote yes.
Thank you. Are there any other council members? Tommy?
Yeah, I just want to echo everything Hiram said and hearing all the amazing work you've done as the community liaison, which was a previously underutilized role. I continue to be impressed by the amount of dedication and care you put into everything you do. I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to excel in this role as well.
Thank you. With that, can someone please motion for a vote?
Motion to appoint Sophia Gevorgian to the Elections Board Director of Investigations role for a one-year term for the academic year 2025-2026.
I second.
Your motions, Tommy seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. Jay, is that a vote for? Okay, thank you. All against and all abstaining with a vote to 12 to 0. Sophia G is appointed to the E-Board Investigations Chair for a one-year term for the 2025-2026 academic year. Next, we have Kelly Trong with the Elections Board External Relations. Is this the chair position or just that's what it's called? Sorry, Claire, we're just going to clarify something.
Okay.
I mean,
This is okay. Sorry.
Tamim, to clarify, Tamim, is this Elections Board External Relations Chair position, or is it just what's the official title of this role?
It says Director of External Relations.
Okay, thank you. We're just going to change it on the agenda so that's confirmed.
Thank you.
Or do we have to motion to change the name? Okay. So we have Kelly Trong for the E-Board Elections External Relations Director. Kelly, whenever you're ready, you may begin your 1-minute opening statement.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Trung. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a fourth-year sociology major and global health minor. I'm currently serving as the external vice president of Swipe Out Hunger, as well as a caseworker for the Mobile Clinic Project at UCLA. But I also have a lot of history working with a lot of different basic needs organizations on campus, ranging from Community Programs Office, CalFresh Initiative, Bruin-Dine, Swipe Out Hunger, a whole bunch. They're kind of overlapping, interconnected, but through this position, I hope to contribute to the community shared knowledge that we've cultivated this past 4 years. Just to provide a little bit of context, I'm a first generation college student, Chinese Vietnamese, Asian American from a single parent household, and I have to represent. And it's these student initiatives that really allowed me to survive on campus like UCLA. And I want to be able to like give back to the community through like all that I've learned through just like 4 years of surviving here. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Next, we'll be moving on to your 5-minute question and answer period from council. Tommy.
Hey.
So I have a question for you. How do you feel like your experience, extensive experience working in the basic needs space will translate over to this role? And what contributions do you foresee yourself bringing to the table?
Yes, of course. I've already have really good working relations with just across those different college campus organizations, but I think to translate over, just providing spaces and opportunities to collaborate and to share similar stories and experiences, I feel like that's the best way to learn from each other and to find better solutions of how to tackle these ever-evolving institutional issues that is going on right now. I feel like, especially for next year, it's going to definitely look different from right now. A lot of these policies are changing every single month or something like that. I feel very conflicted. But with the basic needs realm of things, we're constantly tracking what's going on with policies administratively, as well as like in our own institution on campus. And so I feel like I am well informed and I'm willing to put in the effort to like stay engaged and also connect with people that are already
already doing the on-ground work in these like on-campus and off-campus initiatives and just coming together. We're all friends at the end of the day, and I think that like they're more than willing to support and come together for a collective struggle. And I think that through my positionality, I think it's important for me to alchemize all my networks, all that I've learned through my positions and experiences and coming together. I think I really want to see what we can do in terms of like creating spaces where we could just get more familiar with one another and our initiatives. I feel like some people just don't know what certain organizations are doing. And so just providing more spaces for that, I would be excited to do. But yeah, community building.
Thank you, Hiram.
Hello. Your appointment is happening a few months before election season, leaving plenty of time for transfer students to get involved. Seeing as transfer students make up a quarter of UCLA's undergraduate population, how do you plan on ensuring that transfer student voices are included in this year's?
Yes, we're already doing that work with Swipe Out Hunger right now, but I want to expand that, especially with this position as Director of External Relations. That's a lot. That's a lot. You're connected with USAC, you're connected with all of campus, and I feel like we must like take advantage of that. And I think that with the TSR, we already have a working relationship. We can have more town halls if you'd like. I feel like with the town halls, we can make it more fruitious and more community and more like less, I guess, not professional, but more of like, let's have this conversation casually, because that's how we're able to share our shared experiences, whether that's like, especially like operating in this institution. There's a lot of lore. And so I feel like just creating those opportunities to just sit and talk to one another, that's the best way, especially with transfer students who are just getting here. They don't like, where are the spaces for that? You know, who's going to create those opportunities? Who are going to like create a platform for them to be able to feel affirmed and recognized for their struggles? And so creating those spaces first and then getting them more involved, that's even better. Yeah. Yeah.
Me again.
Pretty low turnout when it comes to our elections. So as the Director of External Relations, how will you use your role to help boost civic engagement on campus?
Yeah, this is one of the biggest issues that I'm actually recognizing within my position in Swipe Out Hunger, where we're not getting that many like Hill students, like the first year students engaged and knowing what is going on and why it's so crucial for them to, you know, civically be engaged. But I think just letting that education know that they have the agency to decide what to do with their education, how they want to choose to navigate their higher education experience, that's the best way. It's just like starting with that conversation, being able to educate the overall campus community, what they can do, what does elections look like, who can they talk to, who are these people in the first place, and what are their initiatives, how are they supposed to help us, and what ways have they done so already? Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Brett?
Hi, thanks for joining us today. I wanted to ask you, because something that I noticed, at least last year, a lot of the positions were uncontested and there's only one person running. And so in order to have maybe more of like, I don't know how best to put it, but like just get more people involved in interested in running for USAC, what
Yeah.
are some initiatives or plans that you have for that, or any ideas you have to kind of overcome that that barrier?
That is hard because I think that, yeah, that's a good question. I think that navigating this USAC, if you haven't been on campus for like a year or something, you're definitely going to be lost with the politics, and there's so much lore to catch up on. I feel like just being able to talk directly with the people who are in these appointments and saying, hey, what projects are you actually working on? You know, are you actually like doing well with the goals that you said you were going to do? And just looking at it from a very critical lens. Yes, we're all students, but we also have to have that transparency. And if we want them to be engaged, we should also like be very clear, okay, how can they be engaged and what are they getting engaged with?
Thank you, Kelly. Whenever you're ready, you may begin your 1 minute closing statement.
Can I drink water? Gosh, okay. Yeah, I'm ready. But basically, why I really am interested in being a part of this exec board is just because it's important to just contribute to this community shared knowledge. I keep saying that because it is collective perseverance and collective care that really keeps me alive here at this campus. It's really hard to feel community and to feel safe on this campus if we don't have that transparency, if we don't have the community, and for leadership positions to, recognize our issues and want to help us. And so I really want to build that community, strengthen it, and retain it, especially right now. I feel like we are at our peak, not our peak, but a really good peak where we should take advantage and alchemize the opportunities and networks that we have right now this year.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we please get ARC recommendations?
Kelly is incredibly passionate about the work she does, and it's clear the love she has for the UCLA community after just one conversation with her, especially as EVP of Swipe Out Hunger. Through her interview, she demonstrated the sheer amount of impact she hopes to make through this crucial position on the elections board. With a 4-0 vote, ARC recommends Kelly for this position and are deeply excited to see what she accomplishes.
Thank you. Can we now please move on to council comments and deliberations? Yes, here.
Kelly's great. I mean,
Why the switch up?
I met her first while going to the May Regents meeting last school year, and I mean it's just so clear the love she has for just every single person around her and just the compassion that she carries with her every single day. And I truly think that there's no one better suited for this role, and I urge you all to vote yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm sure you all could tell just by her presence in this room, Kelly brings a lot of energy and excitement, which I think is really what we need more at this institution with regards to our elections, like who's up and voting. And I think Kelly is going to be able to really hopefully transform how we run elections here. And I believe that her energy will be an immeasurable asset to the board this coming cycle. So really excited to see the amazing things you do.
Divine.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, Kelly is amazing. I met Kelly when we studied abroad together in New York. But yeah, you can feel her energy, her passion, everything. Like she's truly the best person for this role. So welcoming. If you like anyone tries to talk to her, like they're gonna be like that agency part that she brought up, like make her feel like they can take action and vote. And yeah, I think Kelly is perfect for this role.
All right. Can someone please motion for a vote? Tommy.
And I motion to appoint Kelly Trong to the eBoard External Relations Director position for the 2025-2026 academic year.
Second.
Tommy motions, Jay seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. And with all against, please raise your hands. All abstaining. With a vote of 13-0, Kelly Trong is appointed to the Election Board External Relations Director position for a one-year term for the 2025-2026. Congratulations, Kelly. Next, we have Carl Meyer with the eBoard Vice Chair position. Carl, whenever you're ready, you may begin your 1-minute opening statement.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carl Meyer. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a fourth-year political science major with a double minor in education studies and environmental systems and society, which is a pain to type. But I'm coming here to apply for the vice chair role. I believe that I'm a good fit for the position, not only because of my knowledge of USAC over the past couple of years, through collaborations and keeping up with the elections in the past couple of years, but also because of my experience with voting rights and with working in elections as a research assistant for the UCLA Voting Rights Project. We do a lot of work with trying to maintain equity within elections and accountability within local jurisdictions and ensuring that through research, a lot of legal stuff, a lot of decision making with that. And I do a lot of work with that and I have a lot of experience. And I want to bring that to USAC and USAC elections and ensure that we can have equity and an increased amount of voices and better collaboration between candidates in the elections board.
Thank you, Carl. We can begin your 5-minute question and answer period. I guess my first question for you is, how do you plan on engaging the student body and increasing voter turnout rate?
Absolutely. I think number one, it's a broad mission, but number one priority with that is trying to break down that wall between the rest of campus and USAC. And that's been done really well by this council before with like external events, right? But translating that into election season specifically, a lot of students get like they're very tapped out with what elections are, who's running, what's going on, what's the info. They, at best, they see a UCLA form and they see a bunch of names and they're like, oh, I don't know these people. So really just trying to promote that through like external events, promoting the election, encouraging more civic engagement from students through classrooms, events, stuff like that.
Thank you. Brett?
I just want to ask the same question that I asked Kelly, but basically, like, how do you intend to get more people to run for USAC, given that so many positions were uncontended last year?
Yeah, I think especially for the vice chair role, trying to make it clear what those like requirements are in order to run, in order to register, in order to stay eligible, in order to avoid any like penalties. I think making that process very clear and very readily available, because for a lot of people, it's very difficult to break into USAC even through elections process, because there's just a lack of information of, okay, what do I got to do to start? What do I got to do to stay in it? What do I got to do to stay relevant with it? So I think being clear in communication about that process and just trying, like mentioned earlier, trying to spread that out on campus as much as possible and make it more of an open forum for all UCLA students.
Thank you. Hiram and then Keo.
Hi, I'm gonna also ask the same thing I asked Kelly. Your appointment is happening a few months before election season, leaving plenty of time for transfer students to get involved. Seeing as transfer students make up a quarter of UCLA's undergraduate population, how do you plan on ensuring transfer student voices and opinions are included in this year's elections? And how do you plan on making elections more accessible specifically to the transfer audience?
Exactly. I think the main thing with that is trying to collaborate with a lot of the like transfer-based groups and like the TSR office as well, but like mainly with groups that are specifically focused on like transfer demographics, and that can apply to any of the demographics as UCLA as well. But making that process more clear for transfer students, encouraging votes, encouraging engagement, especially since there is a specific office to represent transfer students that's communicating that makes it added incentive for more engagement, not only in the voting side of things, but in the election side of things for transfer students. But just making it more clear and trying to target those student groups that do represent those populations and extending that to many different student groups across UCLA.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, so sorry about that.
When it comes to international students, a lot of students are very hesitant to be involved in any sort of student government or politics just because of um, the whole administrative situation right now. So, what protections would you put into place for students who want to run and also students who are just looking to get involved in other ways?
Exactly. Main thing is referring to, UCLA provides some protections. They can't provide complete protections even with their student code of conduct. But trying to be clear and transparent in what exactly are like what protections are admitted for all students and especially for international students given the current situation. And I think just trying to remain clear and communicative about that and ensure like even with the investigatory process, trying to remain equitable in that. And yeah.
Tommy?
Hey, Carl. So I know you mentioned you have a lot of experience with voting rights policy. As we mentioned and continue to mention, our elections kind of do not historically see turnout we'd like to see. So I guess my question is, how familiar are you with the elections code? And how do you plan to work this year to hopefully amend the code or amend policy to strengthen our elections here at UCLA and ultimately set ourselves up for a future of growth and success?
Yeah. In terms of with that experience, a lot of what we focus on is trying to get increased turnout in order to get candidates of choice elected to offices, while also adjusting on the policy side and the legal side of it, and applying that to UCLA. I think most of it with the elections code is trying to communicate it better and clarify some things. Like was mentioned before, there's a lot of things that like with the issues with Bruin Walk and flying on Bruin Walk. A lot of it is very unclear, and a lot of it can be older and can be a little outdated. And trying to transition that into the current moment. and trying to make it clear and establish a clear line of communication between candidates, potential candidates, and the elections board, so that those questions are easily asked and answered, and it's a comfortable space to have that line of communication.
Thank you so much. Whenever you're ready, you may now begin your 1-minute closing statement.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really passionate about voting rights. I do a lot of work for that voting rights project, and it's a lot of my time. But I want to bring that to UCLA. I know there's been, especially in the last year or two, there's been a lot of stuff going on with transparency, and especially with the role that the vice chair serves in it, and between acting as a liaison between that elections board, between the investigatory committee, penalties, stuff like that. And that relationship with candidates has had some stress in the past. And I really want to, the thing I bring to the role is trying to build that clear line of communication, because there's a lot of miscommunication, there's a lot of uncertainty, and especially now with the given like the Trump administration and everything, there's a lot of uncertainty around all of that, around the code, around the protections for candidates. And I want to make sure to make that clear and palatable for candidates, not only them, but also for other students to try and increase voter turnout.
Thank you so much. Can we now please get our recommendations?
Through his interview, Carl demonstrated very clearly his leadership skills that qualify him for the vice chair position. We are excited for his goals to support non-traditional, marginalized, and transfer students through the e-board this election cycle. And with a 4-0 vote, ARC enthusiastically recommends Carl for this appointment.
Thank you. We'll now move on to council's comments and deliberations. Tommy?
Yeah, I just want to say I really do think Carl brings a unique set of skills that we really haven't seen on the elections board in the past with his unique work with the Voting Rights Project. I think his ability from working in that institution will provide him a lot of knowledge to hopefully transform how we do elections here. I know this year this council has placed a large emphasis on hopefully setting our campus up for a better future. And I have no doubt that Carl will be able to help us achieve that goal on the elections board.
Thank you. Carl is my TA, and I know he'll do an amazing job. All right, can someone please motion for a vote?
I motion to appoint Carl Mayer as the e-board vice chair for the 2025-2026 academic year.
Second.
Tommy motions, Brett seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. Joy, was that for or against?
That was for.
All abstaining. With a vote of 13-0, Carl Mayer is appointed to the e-board vice chair position. Congratulations. Next, we have Joseph for the meeting minutes, for a 1-year term for the academic year 2025-26. Next, we have Joseph Serafino with the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs. Joseph, whenever you're ready, you may begin your 1-minute opening statement.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. My name is Joseph Serafino, and I'm a 4th-year environmental science major. My pronouns are he, him. I'm applying to the LGBTQ Affairs Committee. I'm applying to this position because I am passionate about ensuring voices are being heard in our student government. As a queer student myself, I know that there are many things that can be changed at UCLA to create a more inclusive environment that works to educate all students regardless of sexuality or gender identity. Some work experience I have in the past or experience I have in general is I'm currently co-director of Sexperts and SWC committee and have done peer education and given safer sex items out to students for free. Also have worked as a research assistant on many projects focused on LGBTQ health and communicating with the LA queer community. As a committee member, I will support educational programming and UCLA diversity plans to support the LGBTQ community on campus.
Thank you. We'll now begin your 5-minute question and answer period. Tommy?
Right. Hi, Joey. My question for you is, historically, there's been kind of limited visibility on campus with regards to the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs. How do you plan to build visibility and hopefully solicit greater student involvement in the committee proceedings this year?
This year, I would like to definitely get a lot of stuff on like the Hill and doing more programming among like new students, new student orientation, and like the transfer student building to make sure that they're also included and making sure that all LGBTQ students have like a space. I know we also have the LGBTQ Center, and I think that if more people knew about it, maybe more people would use it. So, yeah, just making sure that information is readily available to all students and kind of putting flyers around the campus also works as well. But yeah, I definitely think working with housing and making sure that it is in the dorms, stuff like that.
You, Kaya?
When it comes to a lot of protections and resources for LGBTQ students, a lot of them don't apply to people with varied immigration status. So, what are some plans that you would implement to make sure that they can be inclusive for all students?
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the issues at UCLA, and I would want to address that wholeheartedly. Definitely bringing that up in our meetings and making sure that the voices of those students are heard and their problems are heard. I think that directly, I would obviously vote for them to have full protections for LGBTQ students, even regardless of immigration status. I think that UCLA can do more in their protections of these students and making sure that even in this current environment that these people are protected.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Hannah?
Especially given your experience working with student groups like Sexperts, what are some of your priorities for the rest of the year and how do you tangibly plan to achieve them?
Yeah, some of my like goals for this year are to yeah, pretty much like lead experts and also have this position. I really just want to like use student government as like a way to support my community that I like see on campus. And so I really want to like hold more meetings, have it more visible to everyone. I think one like main goal is definitely that this committee definitely gets used more. I think that it should be every year that we have 3 students on it and that it is being considered in student government and that pretty much people have like their voices heard again. Sorry, I'm saying that a lot.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, we can move on to your 1 minute closing statement.
Thank you so much for hearing me talk about my application to the LGBTQ Affairs Committee as I look to explore student government as a way to support my peers. I am dedicated to creating a safe and inclusive environment and I want to work to create more transparency in student government. I want to start conversations about LGBTQ safety and inclusivity on campus and provide students with tools that can help them excel here at UCLA and beyond. I'm truly thankful for this opportunity to speaking to all of you, and thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you so much. Can we please get our recommendations?
Through his involvement in Sexperts, Joey demonstrated knowledge necessary for the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs. With the vote of 4-0, ARC recommends Joey for this appointment.
Thank you. Can we move on to council deliberations if there are any comments or questions? Let me.
Yeah, I just want to say I think Joey's an amazing fit for this role. He's demonstrated a commitment to student government and has extensive experience in a lot of the working areas that this committee historically has done work in, including sexual health. So I would really like to see the amazing work that Joey is able to do this year and hopefully get more queer students involved in student government and in the committee's proceedings.
Thank you so much. Can we now please motion? Oh, Anna.
Just a quick comment. Echoing what Tommy said, I've gotten to work with Joey through this past quarter through Sexperts, and I'm really excited to see how student groups like Sexperts can continue to collaborate with committees like this to really bridge the gap between undergraduate student experiences and larger campus committees.
Thank you. If not, can someone please motion for a vote?
I motion to appoint Joseph Serafino to the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs for the 2025-2026 academic year.
I second. Tommy motions, Daniel seconds.
Second.
Tommy motions, Daniel seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against and all abstaining. With a vote of 13 to 0, Joseph is appointed to the Committee on LGBTQ Affairs for a one-year term for the 2025-2026 academic year. Congratulations, Joseph. Next, we will be moving on to our officer reports. I'll keep mine brief. 2 updates tomorrow, actually. Our office will be joining a wide variety of city leaders at the Van Nuys City Hall. We will be, if you are interested in joining, our office will be driving there. So please text me or reach out to me privately. And then Thursday, there will be the Metro Board meeting where the Metro Board will be voting to decide for Alternative 5, which USAC has been consistently pushing for and advocating for. And if you would like to attend, also please reach out to me and I will put the RSVP link for a spot on the bus that UCLA GCR is providing to the Metro Board of Supervisors. And it will leave at 8 a.m. from Westwood. So that will be linked on my officer report, but you can also text me. Tell me.
Yes. So next Wednesday on the 28th, IVP will be hosting its annual off-campus housing fair. There'll be a lot of great student orgs tabling, resources, and then landlords providing information on rentals for the next year. So really encourage everyone to turn out to that and see what resources are available. Additionally, we have our event in collaboration with Diego and Chris Espino's office, as well as the Latinx Pre-Law Association. The panel is tomorrow at 7 p.m., I believe. So encourage you all to turn out to that. Additionally, due to some scheduling conflicts, we have to push back the Meet the USAC Officers event. It'll now be held Wednesday of week 5. Really hope you guys all can be there to meet the community and engage. So yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone. So SLC applications just dropped, so they're due on the 30th, 10 days from now. And for bag allocation applications are due, or bag is due this Friday. So if you know any orgs that are interested in planning events or anything like that, be sure to tell them to apply. Thank you.
Thank you. Talia?
Hi guys. So our raffle was a huge success. We announced the winners on Instagram, so it was a lot of fun. Again, if any of you guys are interested in coming on the Museum of Tolerance field trip, it's going to be on February 3rd from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So I'll send the application to our group me. We just published our transportation guide, safety transportation guide that we've been working on last quarter. So it's up on Instagram. So please share on your social media. And we are also having our self-defense class in collaboration with Kappa Kappa Gamma on February 1st at 1 p.m. We'll be posting the RSVP soon. So yeah, just share with your offices, and if any of you guys want to attend, obviously, please do.
Jayo?
Hi guys. Sorry, lots of updates. Starting with my team students first. Our students first director is planning a student worker event in beginning of February, so that'll be February 3rd, 6 to 7:50 p.m. Graphic, stay tuned. We also have our financial literacy night tomorrow, 6 to 7:50 p.m. I know. There's a lot of conflicts, but still try to come at least the first hour and then go to Tommy's event after Tommy and AAC's and Diego's event after, so we can, split time or something. Or if anything, just let student orgs know so they can hear from all the funding bodies. In terms of other updates, our Swana Lobby Day Steering Committee has started. Our chair has been appointed, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. And to save you guys some time, not going to go through all the other events, but we are T-minus 22 days until Black History Month edition, Black Wednesday kickoff with Cultural Affairs and African Student Union. A reminder that would be February 11th, 6 to 8:30 p.m. and it's Jazz Fest. So I'm very, very excited for that. That will be Brood Plaza. We're gonna have food. We'll have drinks like soda, and we'll have so yeah, we'll good times and celebrating Black music and Black culture. So really excited.
Brett?
We just had our SB79 panel today, and there was a lot of turnout, so it was super great, super awesome. Just excited that we had a lot of people who were super interested in both what our offices are doing and also student homes, and so um, that's kind of it. Everything else is going to be written today.
Chris?
Everything will be written for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel?
Hi everyone. I have a couple updates. So we had our indie rock concert last Friday. That was a lot of fun. It was a huge success. This week we have a couple of events. We have our everything everywhere all at once screening this Thursday at 8 p.m. at James Bridges. And then also on Thursday, earlier in the day, we have our Therapy Goats and Sheep event in collaboration with AAC. Just a fun little petting zoo on Brim Plaza from 2 to 4 if you guys want to stop by. Goats and sheep, it'll be a lot of fun. And then next week on Monday at 6:30 at the Landmark, we are screening Sarat. It's an international thriller directed by Oliver Lax, and we're doing that event in collaboration with Neon. And then just some general programming events. Working on a couple speaker events this quarter. The first is going to be on February 3rd. So just be on the lookout for the announcement for that. And then all of next month, we have retroactive screenings every week. We're going to be putting out a calendar with each movie that we're going to be screening each week at GBT. And then we're starting to work on AfroFest in collaboration with NSA. And we confirmed the date for March 1st from 2 to 6 in Wilson Plaza.
Thank you. Edison?
Hello. So I just wanted to share that this week, CSC, we're having our advocacy event for the unhoused community or those who are affected by houselessness. So basically, we have a 2-day event. For tomorrow, we'll be having a tabling event at Brun Plaza from 2 to 5. So do stop by if you're like walking by. And then I think we'll be doing a raffle at the end of the event as well. So yeah, if you participate in our activities, you may stand a chance to win some cool prizes. And then this Sunday will be the second day of our houselessness event. We have arranged for some volunteer sites that UCLA students can sign up to volunteer at. The RSVP link is on CSC's Instagram and also on my officer report. We'll be doing it such that there will be lunch before you head out for volunteer sites. So it'll be a pretty, I guess, interesting experience and a chance to meet other UCLA students as well. And that is all I have.
Divine?
Yeah, so last week we had our first Word on Wednesday in collaboration with the TSR office. It went really well. There's even some comedy, so we're going back to our roots, bringing that back. Expect some more comedy word events in the future. We also had our first art series event. It was a winter film festival. Also turned out super great. We had 14 films. This week, first concerts event in our first Teeny Desk of the year. It's going to be in the CAC office, 7 p.m. on Thursday. And then we're planning the Art and Word on Wednesday event for next week. It's going to be an art and resistance gallery focused on protest movements. And yes, Jen CAC is planning with the Gen Up 2 and ASU to plan the Black Wednesday special. CAC's part is to focus on making the graphics and then looking for some open mic artists and things like that. And yeah, of course. And again, like our UCLA radio show every Sunday, 5 p.m. We just focus on marketing and yeah, keep staying tuned for that. It's super great. And then again, ARC applications due next Friday, January 30th, 11:59 p.m. The rest is written.
Thank you so much. Joy?
The Metro Board of Directors is set to vote on the locally preferred alternative for the SDC and whether the SDC will include a direct on-campus UCLA station at their meeting this Thursday, the 22nd. So here are ways you can help. Please email a public comment to boardclerk@metro.net. by tomorrow at 5 p.m. using our published guide, also linked in my officer report, to urge the Metro Board to select modified alternative 5, which would provide a direct on-campus station at UCLA Gateway Plaza. And as Diego said, USAC and Bruins for Better Transit representatives are planning to make public comments in person at the Thursday Metro Board meeting from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you plan to make a public comment in person and take the bus with us, please fill out the form linked in my office report. The rest is written.
Nico?
Hey everyone. We are currently working on commuter parking permits for the upcoming quarter. So if any of your offices want to collab on commuter parking scholarships, I am happy to connect with you guys. And then other than that, everything else will be written. Thank you.
Anna?
CARE is having their sexual violence prevention certificate trainings on the following dates. I have it written down, but it's the 4th, 11th, and 18th of February. Tentatively, week 7, our office is planning a wellness and identity event. So if your office is interested in being a collaborator, or you know of any cultural and identity-based orgs that would be interested, we are trying to have this event on the Hill. Our 5K date is set for April 19th. Look out for registration details. And I also just wanted to say that the Ash Center has now installed Narcan break boxes in all of the residential buildings. So I know a lot of you guys are involved in Hill stuff and being an RA. So I think more official communication will come from them, but I'm very excited about this.
Thank you, Hiram.
Okay, lots of updates, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. First of all, our Transfer Student Advocacy Day Steering Committee applications with EVP are due this Friday. So if you know any transfer students that are interested in getting involved, tell them to get their applications in as soon as possible. And we are also hosting our trivia night in collaboration with the Transfer Student Center on January 22nd. I think that's also, wait, that's Thursday. I think, at Kirkhoff Patio from 5 to 6 p.m. So come join us, test your knowledge on trivia about UCLA transfer students, UCLA as a school, and pop culture, just fun stuff. And it's also Transfer Bruin Week. This is like the biggest week of the year for me. Yay, so exciting. Lots of cool events are happening. There was a brunch kickoff today, and there was a postgrad finances and resources workshop and transfer research kickstart that was hosted, I think by the Career Center and the Transfer Student Center. And then tomorrow we have a career workshop at the Transfer Student Center, and then a higher fair at the Ackerman Grand Ballroom. And Thursday, there's a paint night and a mentorship movie night. And Friday, this is huge, there's the Great Gatsby Transfer Formal at the Tom Bradley International Hall at 7 p.m. and the Snowflakes and Sneakers Transfer Ball from 4 to 7 p.m. So it's just endless partying. It's going to be super fun. Catch me there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest of my report is written.
Kaya?
So first, we met with Sam and the Dashu director and the GSA EVP to discuss the current issues, but also the fact that GSA doesn't have any international student representation, so how they can be involved. And following up, we met with the GSA EVP to have them in on our SLS series, which are starting on February 13th. So the first event is going to be February 13th. And then other than that, Jaya and I met to start the International Student Advocacy Series. So it's going to be an event per month. And that's going to start in February. And then other than that, we're still taking submissions for echoes. So if you guys know anyone who writes and is an international student, encourage them to submit. And the rest, I'll keep it written.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to our administrative report. Sorry, I'm like getting out the order. I always forget the order. I think it's Orlando.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I have a few updates. Let me wrote them down. Okay, so starting tomorrow, we'll begin Soul's 2-day one-stop workshop series where student groups who registered and the winter quarter attend a mandatory new organizational workshop. And then on Thursday, so we'll be hosting a series of virtual workshops, funding, graduate student resources, things of that nature. If you're interested or if you're part of a new group, please visit the SOL website. The list is on there. This Thursday at 4 p.m. is the deadline for Campus Programs Committee Regular Fund and Campus Programs Committee Youth Fund. The regular fund is intended for on-campus general programming, and youth fund is for kindergarten through community college on-campus programming. So if your organization or if you know someone's interested, please have them apply to that. The deadline is on Thursday at 4 p.m. And then the final update is I will be sending out an email to you all, but we have to cancel the upcoming student regent breakfast, reschedule it. I've been told that they're moving the dates, and I'll have more information in the email I'll be sending out to everyone. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's all I have.
I think Jonathan. Nope. Who is it? Lorelai. Jonathan. Lori. Hell yeah.
Lori doesn't have any updates.
All right. Well,
Amy.
Jonathan.
Hey, hi, hello.
Like that'll do it.
So think of yourself months and months and months ago at UCLA South Bay, where you were thinking about who you would be right here, right now, and you wrote to yourself. And today's the day. Today's the day you get those back. So Lorelai has just kindly passed all those out to you. I hope that can be a nice little boost. You can, adjust and engage with your prior self, and give you a little bit of motivation to finish out your term strong. We're quickly coming to a close, candidly. You got time, but not a lot of time, So I hope you enjoy that. If you're not here in person, we have them for you in our office. Please feel free to stop by whenever to come and grab it. And then the last thing I have is a reminder about quarterly NECs. So if you are an office that provides quarterly NECs, that process is coming up. Again, that same week 5 Friday deadline exists for you to update your rosters. It should be so much easier for you this time because all you have to do is check boxes of who is still active this quarter. If you do not check their box that they are still active this quarter, they will not receive a payment and they will not be eligible to receive a payment. So please take the time to look at your rosters, update your rosters before Friday of week 5, and those payments will come out before the end of the quarter. With that, have a good day.
With that, everyone, then I adjourn today's meeting at 8:23 p.m.